But when you look at the trajectory of Marcus Rashford, you will see that Marcus Rashford can have one very, very good season. And after that very, very good season, he has a bad season. It's not even an average season. What's up, my people? Welcome to Vertical Football. Welcome to another episode of Fans Corner. This is the Manchester United edition. We want to quickly look at the decision of Ruben Amorim to meet the likes of Garnacho and Rashford from the Manchester Derby squad, and also the things that have happened after that decision, the statement of Marcus Rashford about, his potential or imminent departure from Manchester United. So guys, quickly, let's jump right into it. First and foremost, I think for those of you that have been following us on this podcast, you are clear on our views about Marcus Rashford. I think we have to say this, that for a very long time, Manchester United has had a problem, and that problem has been titled Marcus Rashford. I know he's an academy player, and I know people have different views about academy players. People have views that since this is an academy player, you should give them some kind of, chance to remain at the club. The academy players, there's this belief around academy players that they just love the club because they're academy players. And even as much as I'm not doubting Marcus Rashford's love for the club, I think we just have to admit it. I think everybody has to come to the admission that, Marcus Rashford has not been a consistent player for Manchester United. We have to admit it. In as much as you might like him so much, you just have to admit he has not been consistent. And I think when you're talking about consistency, there are two types of consistency. The first one is, the fact maybe he can have a very good season, and maybe the next season he just has maybe an average season, and maybe the next season he could have a very good season. But when you look at the trajectory of Marcus Rashford, you will see that Marcus Rashford can have one very, very good season, and after that very, very good season, he has a bad season. It's not even an average season. I can picture you in the sense of under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He had the first full season of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He had an amazing season, him and Anthony Martial. And the season that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sacked, he had a very poor season. Under Erik ten Hag, the first season of Erik ten Hag at Manchester United, Marcus Rashford had a very, very wonderful season. Very, very wonderful season. He was scoring goals with his left foot, with his right foot, with headers. Amazing season. Even that season brought out the celebration of this team. Amazing season. The next season was terrible. So the question we've always asked is, why is he having these kind of massive dips? Not even having an average season, just very, very bad season. And I think we've been saying it on this podcast that really a time is coming where you have to say the bitter truth. A time is coming where you have to take the tough decision. And I think now Ruben Amorim and the Manchester United board have taken that decision. And I think the first sign of that decision was the decision to omit him from the squad entirely for the Manchester Derby. And I think this also comes to show us how political, how in a way unserious Erik ten Hag was, really. Because you can see Erik ten Hag made some decisions that when you look back, you say these are criminal decisions. Number one of them is what we're addressing, the fact of always wanting to start Marcus Rashford. We were first of all not sure about the decision. We thought maybe it was a contract issue. But now we can see clearly it's not a contract issue. Because now, I know there's some players that sign contracts that say, okay, you must play a certain amount of games every match. Maybe there are contracts like that. But we can see based on the decision of Ruben Amorim that this Marcus Rashford issue wasn't a contract issue because he was left out of the squad entirely. So it was just an Erik ten Hag's decision. Erik ten Hag, we said those times, will continue to pay Marcus Rashford at the expense of Amad Diallo. It was a political stuff. And I think now Manchester United has a manager, not just a manager, but a manager that is backed by the board to ensure that the right decisions are made. And I think for me, I want to say Marcus Rashford, I've said it many times, but I'm not repeating myself, Marcus Rashford has to leave Manchester United. I'm not doubting his love for the club, but I'm doubting his passion for the game. I'm doubting the fact that I have said it many times, I don't believe that guy still has the passion for the game. I don't believe that guy still has, the drive to want to be successful that he had when he started at the club. And I think he is right by saying that he needs a new challenge. I think Marcus Rashford needs a new challenge. And I think we have to say thank you for your service at Manchester United. I think he has to try something new, and we wish him all the best. The second this discussion I want to have is about Alejandro Garnacho, also was omitted from the squad of the Manchester derby. Some fans are saying, why was Garnacho omitted? I think Garnacho is a fantastic talent. On this podcast, I've praised him many, many times. But I think you just have to admit that Garnacho is not living his own life. We have to agree. I think it's one thing to have Cristiano Ronaldo as your mentor, but it's another thing to want to live exactly Cristiano Ronaldo's life. The goal of a mentor is not that you live exactly their life. The goal of a mentor is that you just pick the things that made them successful. Garnacho wants to do everything Cristiano did. Cristiano Ronaldo lived his own life at Manchester United, lived his own life at Madrid, lived his own life all through his career. So the question to Garnacho is, why are you not living your own life? Garnacho wants the number 7, not because of anything, because he wants, he wants to follow the footsteps of Cristiano. Wasn't given the number 7 jersey, went ahead to take the number 17. Everything he's doing, even in celebration, is just after Cristiano. The reality is that there's only one Cristiano Ronaldo, and there's only one Alejandro Garnacho. Live your life. And I think his decision to always want to live in the footsteps of Cristiano is affecting his game. Being too selfish with the ball, not passing, trying to do things magical. Guy, you are a good player, but you are not at that level. Cristiano did 3 average years in Manchester United before he had his 3 peak years. That's just the issue. This is just your second full season as a Manchester United player. You are trying to do the magical. Guys, stick to your game. Improve yourself. Improve the basic of your game. With time, that magical stuff will happen. Cristiano had moments in Manchester United time where we saw this guy was like just average, but he kept developing on his craft until he had those 3 amazing years where he even won the Ballon d'Or. So I believe Garnacho is a victim of having a wrong view of mentorship. Guy, live your life. Live your life. And I think if they can lose, I believe Garnacho is a player that can succeed, but he needs to learn a lot of things in the game. He needs to learn the basics. The basics is, don't lose the ball too much. Pass your opponent. Know when to shoot. Know when to pass. These are the basics. And I believe he's living ahead of his time. Live in the moment. Develop yourself. And I think you'll be a best player. So guys, these are my opinions on the issue between Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho. So for Alejandro Garnacho, I would say it's an amazing talent for the club. It's a player that should remain in the club. It's a player that is one of the future players of Manchester United. But for Marcus Rashford, I have to say, it's time. He has to leave the club. I believe he has to search for a new place, a new experience, where maybe he can get his passion back, maybe he can get his motivation back. So thank you very much, guys, for sticking with us. This is my opinion on Garnacho and Rashford omission from the Manchester United squad in the derby match. So as usual, if you like this video, please click on the like button, and most importantly, please subscribe, and also please share to people around you. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.